Sometimes I wonder why we even like doing this. But then I remember the good times. This was our second adventure into Algonquin Park this season, and we were trying to be optimistic that the weather would be better than our first, although the forecast said otherwise. And oh yeah, we're back in the tandem, because we better get some practice before we spend 2 weeks in it in Quatico. Windy day to be practicing this though. We've been able to see bottom pretty much this whole ride across the lake. Kind of reassuring when the water temperature is still pretty cold.
I bet you it's a really hot lake in the summer, no?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Not much.
We're now entering the mouth of the Mabel Dauphin. I'm calling it the French River because it's French. This means we get a little bit of a break from this wind. The river is named after a hunter and trapper that lived in the area during the 19th century.
I feel like a noob. Double noob.
Very windy so far. Didn't know we'd be running rapids in the tandem.
Hate it.
Castle's not the biggest fan of rapids. Not really rapids, a little bit of flow. It's kind of nice. Draw on the right. Our friends Luke and Marin that have been on a few trips on the channel are joining us this weekend. And he's a much better tandem paddler than me, so we're definitely gonna get some tips from him on this whole tandem business. But so far on the stream, we're not doing horrible.
I agree with that.
Black flies, they're always annoying. Earlier in spring, the worse they are. Black flies weren't bad at all until they came across that portage. Now they're making themselves known. We're loving this little river stretch. This is a nice relaxing paddle. I feel like we're both surprised that there's not more obstacles in the way. Although we did just mash ourselves on a huge rock that we couldn't see because of the glare off the water. So it's always nice to hit a big rock in a new to you boat. But it's gonna happen. Feel like we've been back in the water for all of a minute and we already hear the next portage. Sounds a lot angrier than the last portage.
Hate carrying 2 barrels because of this. Anytime I have to step up, can't see.
This lake looks beautiful. I feel like it's been a while since we were on a lake this big. North T has an interesting history, including connections to artists like Tom Thompson. It's one of the largest lakes in the park and is known for its beautiful scenery, but also its treacherous winds, which we would later experience. The only thing about these big lakes is you really don't get to see that much cool stuff, it seems. Although the landscape is quite beautiful. you're always like a half mile away from it. It's like all beach on this lake. I'm having trouble understanding how this lake is calmer than Kawawamog that we came over. It seemed like a smaller lake. Maybe it's just the shape of it and the direction the wind's coming, but this is a nice, calm paddle on a big lake. Sorry. The waves catch my paddle. Castle doesn't like it when I splash her. Oh yeah, that feels cold.
Well, let's take a tour, I guess.
After paddling North T Lake, I have to say, it is home to some of the best beach campsites I've ever bared witness to. So I think we managed to score pretty much the perfect site for the night. It's a little windy, but that's kind of what we wanted after we came across the first portage and got attacked by black flies. We decided we probably want something with a little wind, and we also got a beach, of course. We're discovering that this lake is completely full of wicked beach sites. So if you're looking for, you know, Caribbean vacation in the backcountry,
Huge pet peeve is when people just leave garbage in the fire pit. You have no idea when the next person's going to come around to deal with your garbage. Just pack it out. That's as easy as it has to be. This will draw wildlife to the site. It's also just not very considerate to leave for your fellow campers, so we'll make sure that this doesn't stay here after we're gone.
we're just sitting here enjoying the beach and hoping that we hear from our friends Luke and Marin soon, because I thought we would have heard from them by now, and if they're not putting their boat in the water soon, then they're not making it here before dark, because it's probably like 7:30 now, so I'm a little bit worried about them. Hopefully they're all right. This is exactly the kind of thing that you do not want to set your tent up underneath. Always check for deadfall waiting to kill you. Good morning. Well, our friends never ended up showing up last night. They ended up messaging us around dark, saying they were staying in Huntsville with his cousins, so probably a good thing, because there's no way in hell they would have made it here before dark. But we got word this morning that they're on North T Lake, so we should be seeing them anytime soon. Gotta love the Garmin for communicating out here. Comes in handy sometimes. Seems our friends showed up and brought the rain with them. Beautiful day until then. Canoe on the water. Ba, ba, ba.
We're doing it! Divorce with you. You guys are still married?
Woo! Yeah, we were close to that one.
Yeah.
Watch for rocks.
The other boat was just like boom, and the rocks and shit.
Yeah, well, we got kind of hung up on it for a second, and we're both just like, yeah, not our boat.
Okay.
Thank you. Don't forget your wet bag. So much for a whole day of rain. Very unexpected.
Definitely no good at judging the length of this thing yet.
The boat.
I keep hitting things with my back.
Oh no.
What a cool spot. If you're coming through this way, I definitely recommend staying a night at this campsite because what a beautiful view. And it looks like it's a calm enough falls. There's probably some swimming holes in it if you're brave enough. This is definitely a pretty cool portage. Looks like the bottom of it would be runnable in a kayak and probably sections of it even runnable in a whitewater canoe, but definitely not in these boats. In the Algonquin language, Manitou means great spirit. The Anishinaabe people have resided in this area for over 10,000 years and consider Manitou Lake an important gathering place and spiritual center. In some ways, we're really enjoying these big lake paddles, but I'm starting to get blisters on my fingers from the constant paddle strokes. I don't know how people do this all the time. Makes me miss my double blade. They are very scenic lakes though, much more scenic than what we experienced paddling out from Canoe Lake a couple weeks ago. Definitely helps that we got some leaves on the trees right now, and this area has lots of birch hardwoods, so it's fun to see them come to life. Okay. That was a nice one. Oh, time for lunch on the beach. Oh, that was a fun lunch break, but I think we're just delaying the inevitable with the big portage we have coming up. We're not going to break our record, but it's going to be a big one at almost 3,000 meters. So, better get this over with. Yeah.
This isn't the top. We gotta go up there. That hill wasn't a joke. The lady on office had said the way we're planning to do it was going to be pretty steady uphill, and it was. I ended up putting one of my barrels down halfway through and just went back for it right away, but I don't want to do the whole portage twice, so yeah, here we are. It's hot and it's buggy. Looks like there's a couple canoe rests in the middle of the portage in case you need a break. Nice way to put the canoe down without having to put it on the ground. They're hard to pick back up. I wanted to talk a little bit about trout lilies. So they're very common on the forest floor. I've seen them commonly mistaken for wild leeks. They have a short green leaf. Later in the season they will grow a long upside down yellow flower. Wild trout lilies are edible. You want to make sure that you're correctly identifying the plant, and also be sure to always test anything against your skin before ingesting it. And just note that, sorry, there's lots of bugs. High quantities trout lilies can cause stomach upset. Well, I found a road. That's marked pretty well. Pretty obvious where we're supposed to go. So let's just keep following the signs. It's like a four-wheeler trail. This is really nice, actually. Got caught in a bit of a thunderstorm. Rain was nice and cooling. But yeah, it was quite an easy portage after that first hill, honestly. It's just like walking straight. We made it! Oh my gosh, feels so good to be done that portage. Just was really long. One note though, so we decided to do sandals because in the tandem, because it is a little more fragile than the solos, we have to kind of wade out into the water. So rather than getting wet running shoes that take a long time to dry out, we're just using these sandals, and we have our running shoes for at camp and dry feet. So help. Now to find a fight.
That was quite the portage. First 150, 200 meters were a pretty big hill, but after that, it wasn't all that bad. Kind of joins up with the road and becomes a bit of a highway. It was, though, the kind of portage that makes you question your sanity and your reason for doing this. Personally, I find after 1,000, 1,500 meters of carrying a canoe, the pain kind of melts away and you forget it even exists. And now here we are on 3 Mile Lake. New lake for us. So far I haven't seen any lightning strikes. So it's pretty far away, that's the hope. Can't really tell which way it's heading though, but because we're moving. If we have to, we'll just pull over and find a site for the night. If you are ever caught in the canoe in the middle of the lake in a thunderstorm, the best bet is to lay down and make yourself as low as possible. Let the rain fall down. No, Hillary Duff's better. Sing the Hillary Duff song. Do the Hillary Duff. Fall down. I don't know the lyrics to this song because I'm not a chick. I just know the chorus. Row! Nah, I'm just gonna rudder, you row. Let the rain fall down. We were singing Hillary Duff coming across that.
Yeah, did you listen to Hillary Duff as a kid, or is that a thing in France?
Yes, I knew about it. Except we called her Hillary Duff, but
yeah. We're doing Let the Rain Fall Down or whatever the hell that song.
Clean. Oh yeah, it does look a little. I don't know.
You want to go look it around? Because there's that other one just right there.
yeah.
May as well.
Well, let's check her out.
Cozy Toronto size campsite.
Hold the canoe, Nona. It's gonna float away. Take my paddle. Don't slide my butt.
I'm gonna suck your butt all day.
Just as a side note, Canada Parks wouldn't let us book from West T Lake to 3 Mile Lake in one day, but our friends with a 4-year-old paddled from the put-in on Kawawaymog to 3 Mile in one day. They're champions. It was quite the night last night. We all went to bed pretty early because it was not pleasant. The wind picked up and we basically chose our site terribly after that happened because it wasn't windy at all when we first got here, and it was pretty brutal after that wind picked up. But sometimes on spring trips, that's just how it is. You gotta hit the hay early because it's better than suffering all night. We knew when the rain didn't stop that we were definitely not having a fire last night, so oh well. Happy to do some portages today and get warm again because it's cold again this morning. Another day, more rain. It's one of those days where I'm super excited to hit the first portage. Good thing we have a bunch of them. Our mission is to work our way down to Biggar and then back up to North T Lake. When camping in conditions like this, every move you make and the gear you brought determines whether you have a good time or not. What's happening here? Right.
This makes me want to get all the way up. First portage, I think it's 1,000. Wouldn't be so bad if it was just rain, but it is windy. It's making it way worse and way sketchier on the water. Hopefully it calms down. The forecast for today was supposed to be just a bit of light rain and then eventually sun, but I'm not sure what's going to happen now. Spruce tips are starting. They are packed with vitamin C. You can make them into a tea, or you can actually ferment them a little in some water and they will make a fizzy drink. Pretty delicious. Either way, it's a good staple when you're out here if you ever were in a pinch. There's one more big one.
They're all seas.
Pretty little lake though.
Yeah.
This does not look like good parking. It doesn't even look like a portage. Unless I'm missing. There's a log there.
I don't know what to try.
Oh yeah.
Shallow.
Yep. See that rock? Yeah. Oh, it's right there. I think as long as we stay tight and we just push back that way, we'll be all right. Good job, my love. Whee! We're doing it.
is our second longest portage for the day. Other than it just being a little bit wet and washing your stuff in sections, it's actually very easy and very scenic. Lots of moss and rocks, which is really pretty. I am quite enjoying having a little bit of time to myself as well. The upside to the tandem canoe is obviously that in most cases we're able to single carry, but the downside is I miss my alone time. You know, sometimes it's nice to just have a little bit of separation and time to have your own thoughts.
One more portage before lunch. Scared me on that last portage. The tree made like a crazy sound. It almost sounded like a moose going like or something like that, or a bear. It sounded like it was like 10 feet away from me in the bushes. I was like, whoa, is that? And I kind of like stopped.
There was a big bear poop at the beginning.
Yeah, but it was like right where you left your barrel.
Yeah.
So I was like, if she's coming back with Nona and this is something. So I kind of hung out there because I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's a tree, but it sounded like a bear. That works nice. You get out and the front end lifts up and I can drive it like up onto shore. So far the portages coming through this section really haven't been all that bad. I'm sure they're going to look a little bit intimidating when you're looking at the map, but don't be intimidated. There's lots of catwalks and most of them are pretty flat, so they've really done a good job of making these easy for you. Not like the struggle you go through in Temagami and certain parts of Killarney, that's for sure. And now we're on another beautiful lake. This one is blowing me away. Beautiful hills. Yes, Nona, we're going. Just wait. You ready, my love? Oh, wind. Ah, that's stupid. Now I get a wet butt. Okay, can we go to the right of it? Watch for rocks in this section. Yeah. That's so fun. Hairy.
It says 240. I thought it was like 300 and something.
Yeah, that's what it says on the map. 310, I thought.
I'm not complaining.
No, oh. No, oh. The water feels warm here. Maybe it's just my feet or something.
Yeah.
The water doesn't even feel that bad now.
It's the last portage for the day. Now we just need to find a site.
gonna get sunny today.
The clouds are moving the opposite way.
And then it rains again.
Yes, we are having 1 minute of
Too optimistic, right, Isabel? Pessimism. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Isabel.
Pirates don't care if they get flat.
You're fine. Patience is a virtue. Virtue which you do not have. Okay.
Are you gonna go swimming today?
What?
I think the water's warm.
I don't know. You go first. You swim first. Then maybe I'll think about it.
Now that the sun's come out, it just doesn't make the day feel as bad.
No, no.
And all of a sudden, those lunchtime miserable is past my mind.
Yeah. It's a well-deserved sight for the day we had today. That's for sure. Not too often you look on the map and you're like, this site, and then you get there and you're like, yeah, that's the site.
Oh, it is another cold, windy day. We were really hoping that we were going to wake up to some warmer weather, well, at least some sun for the paddle out here, but
Instead, we were greeted by some snow while we ate our breakfast.
at least the wind's blowing in the right direction. I'll take that as a win. We just got a paddle across North T Lake and then a couple portages, so shouldn't be too bad for us to get out of here today. This has been one awesome trip, other than the weather. But I would 100% come back here just for all the freaking beaches. Just wish we did this in the middle of the summer. Would have been a lot better decision.
Keep praying the sun's gonna come out today. I don't know if that'll happen or not. Much better. That was a little bit of a sketchy experience. We started crossing the big part of the lake and the waves started getting real serious. And this is not the kind of lake you want to be in the middle of and fall in, and not the time of year you want to fall in. That would be a nightmare. So we decided to kind of change course and try and get over to these islands, give us a little bit of wind protection, and set us up to at least go with the waves and not completely sideways to the waves, because that was sketchy. This next section might be kind of sketchy too, but hopefully we can make it through unscathed. Well, we're basically back at our site from the first night, and I think we're done the sketchy stuff for the day, and we're just gonna hug the shoreline for the rest of the way out, because it's not a heck of a lot farther than just cutting a straight line across the lake at this point. It's just not worth the risk. We'd rather spend a little bit extra time. If anybody out there doesn't think canoeing is an extreme sport, come out and do this, because it feels pretty sketchy. It's the sun and another beach. Surprise, surprise. Well, that's what I'm gonna remember this place for. Lots of beaches. Well, we made it across North Sea. A little bit of a sketchy ride though. Super glad to have that behind us.
I don't know, but that sucks.
Yeah. Oh, I can't even imagine how it was for you guys, man. Like, that's why we cut across.
Yeah, about a 45. If not, there's crash. So look at that.
Okay. Good girl. There was a couple guys coming up with their canoes on the other end of the portage when we went back for our second load, and they had motors. Seems like the right idea for North Sea Lake. Bit of a chore going upstream, especially with all the rain we've got in the last day or so. Feels like it's got more current than when we came down it. But we're on the home stretch. I think we're all excited for some warm feet. Really? You ready, my love? Get us lined up. Rolled around the corner and saw it. I'm like, it's not as bad as I remember. I thought it was kind of like sparse beaver dam that we weren't even gonna be able to stand on. Freedom and sunshine, a little bit of sunshine at least. After that paddle, I'm ready for a big lake. I made it. One hell of a trip. And after all that, I have to admit, the timing on this trip was not great, but the area was just perfect. If you want to see more of our trips in Algonquin or other parks, check out these videos.